I mean, I've done a lot of jobs over the years, including drug dealing. So, and you had to negotiate with that as
Yes,
well.
you
'Cause it
did.
wasn't like a set price. It's
What matters to you, Simone? And then what are
mm,
you willing to give me in exchange for what
yeah,
matters?
because people will promise you everything, but what are they actually going to deliver? And
Yeah.
until I actually had it in my hand, I didn't have it.
Negotiating is such a abstract concept to people. They think they know what negotiating is, but I deal with people all of the time that you would think would know how to negotiate, and they have
Okay,
no idea what they're doing.
let me
Yeah.
say what I think it is, and then we can
Yeah.
break that down too. Because I mean, I've done a lot of jobs over the years, and I mean, gosh, including drug dealing. So, and you had to negotiate with that as
Yes,
well,
you
because it
did.
wasn't like a set price. It's like you had, well, if I get this amount, if I do this, if I do it by then, if I buy more, if I do, if I buy weekly, da da da, you have all these different questions of, would this change the price? Would this change what you give me? And so that's me on this side going, can I get this, right? And even, or can I get payment plans, or can I get an extension on this? Or what is the absolute last date that I need to give you a yes? Or, all these different things is how I would function on that end. But then
Yep.
also on the other end, like actually being in sales, my thing was always, a good salesperson always has something up their sleeve. Always, always.
Always.
Yeah. Always. Like every venue, there's not one venue that doesn't have something up their sleeve, whether they can offer you like a free stage or, I don't know, morning coffee or something like that. When we're doing something, they've always got something that
Yeah.
they can offer you that you're not actually paying for, and it's within the contract that you're negotiating. That's how I always looked at it. So,
Yep. No, that's a really I think you're spot on there. And what you're looking at is what mattered. So when that person asked you, can I get a better deal if I pay you weekly? Can I get a better deal if I do this and this? What he's looking for is what matters to you, Simone. And then what
mm,
are you willing to give me in exchange for what
yeah,
matters?
yeah.
So if what matters to you is getting them on a weekly payment schedule where they're buying marijuana from you every week, and you lock them into that.
We don't need to use
Uh,
the drug dealing as the example throughout the
I
whole
like it.
podcast.
Um, but yeah, if that's what mattered to you, what he's looking for is okay. If that matters to her, then will she give me what I
Yeah,
want, which is a cheaper
yeah.
price in exchange for weekly, which is something I'm going to do anyways. So that's yeah,
Actually, I just want to let's do the drug dealing thing for a second, because
yeah,
one of the things that always used to show up is people would go, because so many friends, like growing up in Sydney, they just wouldn't go out unless they had drugs. Like that was the culture, right? And I'm sure it is now to an extent, and I have no doorways into it anymore. Like it was just my
could tell
life
you
at
all
that
about
time.
it.
Yeah, yeah. I could go anywhere and score anywhere. It was be like, give me half an hour. I just knew who to ask. So, but the thing that I always found was people would go, "Oh, do we have the drugs? Whatever it was, like ecstasy was a huge thing then, right? Do we have the ecstasy?" People go, "Yeah, yeah, it's coming. He's coming by," and I go, "I don't have it until it's in my hand." And that was I took that for the rest of my life, because people will promise you everything, but what are they actually going to deliver? And
Yeah.
until I actually had it in my hand, I didn't have it. I was like, not yet. It's like, it's not here. So, what's your point of view on that? Or how should people look at that? Or is that just being paranoid, or a skill, or.
No, it's a skill. See, that's where leverage comes into play in this. Okay,
Oh,
because
leverage. I
people
like the word, how it sounds.
I like it
Leverage.
too, and I love to use it. In every situation, I'm always looking for the leverage, and leverage is what you use. So leverage is what matters to people, and you take what matters to people, and you give it a time, and you say, "Hey, listen, this matters to you. If you have it to me by this time, then I will do this in exchange." So it's not just saying you have what matters to me and I have what matters to you. Let's make a deal. It's I have what matters to you. I'm willing to give you that in exchange for doing it today. I need it today. If you don't have it today, I'm not giving you that. And that's where the control comes in. You start to be able to control situations with leverage, and people don't really understand what's happening. You've just given a timeline and they're like, yeah, fine, I want that. I'll do that today, no problem. And this works exceptionally well in sales. If you're the buyer or the seller, it's how do you get them to do something on a particular timeline that works to your benefit and to their benefit, and you wrap all of the gives around that date. And if they miss that date, they lose everything that you guys had negotiated up to that point. We also have to look at, we're dealing with people in this reality, right? That are functioning in this reality. So a lot of times, they need these, you need to tie them down to certain times and have things laid out for them in that way and incentivized in order to have the control or have things to happen in a way that you want them to get done. It just leaving that open ended, they could just do it whenever the hell they wanted or take the money, never do it at all. It's all about making sure that you've got the back end tied up too, and it's getting done.
Because you have started negotiating the contracts that we have with our live classes and access consciousness around the
Yeah.
world, and every country is completely different. And it's like I always look at every class, it's like a blank canvas. You can't say this is the way we always do it. It's like every room, the way we set it up, how we deal with it, how we deal with people, you go to the Middle East, and one of the things that really surprised me, we would have our break and you'd have like a coffee break. If you had a coffee break in America or Australia, America would have really shit coffee, and then they'd have maybe some chocolate chip cookies or something like that, at least we had good coffee in Australia, but we'd have chocolate chip cookies or something like that too. You go to the Middle East, you walk out and you're like, what the heck? There's this massive display of like food beyond anything you can think of. And you're like, that's our coffee break? But to them, if you finish it, they've failed. In the Middle East, you should never have that place where there wasn't enough. It's like they will put on this spread that is massive. Like everyone just ended up going, well, I'm just going to eat these sandwiches. That's my lunch, and I'm going to have these cookies, I'm going to have this cake and this fruit and this everything. It was just like, it was so plentiful. And I noticed how every place is completely different. So when you're dealing with venues all over the world that are completely different, how do you approach that?
Find out what matters to them.
Okay. Finding out what matters.
You got to be in question. You're right. All of these venues are different. And there's a lot of different scenarios too, right? Sometimes we go places, it's tropical and it's the middle of the summer. Like we don't have as much leverage in those situations as if we were going to a tropical place in the winter when, there's just not a lot of people booking venues. So you want to look at the landscape of what it is that you're dealing with kind of, and then also understand, okay, well, what matters to these people on the other end? What matters to the hotel? Where is our leverage points within this negotiation that we can use to get what we want? And I mean, in negotiating, there's quid pro quo it's just a thing. Like I have what you want, which if I'm the one booking the venue, we have the money, right? So that's our ultimate leverage. And our ultimate leverage point is walk away. If we don't get what we want, we'll just go find someone different. It's really hard to negotiate with people who are just willing to walk away. That's why you can't negotiate with Gary because he won't have it. He just walks away from it if he doesn't get what he wants. And it's hard to deal with people like that or negotiate at all.
So how do you deal with people like that?
You don't.
You do. You have to. You can't just.
I mean, well, you don't even try to negotiate. You just lay it out, and he either says yes or no. That's the end of it. Many times I've gone in. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, are you ever afraid to destroy a project by negotiating?
Well, I think there's a lot. Let's take the venue for example. And that's why we're working on some of some of the ways in which we look for venues rather than just looking for one and getting our heart set on one. We need to find at least two, or three is even better that, hey, all three of these options could work and negotiate from that place. Because then if one falls, then you have two options and it puts you in a position to just be able to walk away if if you're not getting the things that make it work for you. I going into a negotiation, you want to do your homework. Like the evaluation, finding 4 or 5 hotels in an area rather than just one is part of that homework because it gives you a sense of what is available, what are the different price points that people are offering, where are some people high with the room cost and low on internet, where are some people high with internet but low on room cost. And you get a sense of what that region has to offer just by getting an initial quote from those venues. You have like a taste because you have a big enough sample size to look at and like actually go, oh, okay, why is this one so much more than the other 4? We're definitely not going there, and that might be a demand issue for them. Maybe they're just booked and they know they're going to book that room. So yeah, the home, like knowing what you want is very critical, but also again, knowing what they want and then the different levers that you can pull. And that's one of the things I'd really like to talk about in the class, especially when we get to corporations and some of these companies that maybe you're purchasing technology with, like pulling back the rug and exposing how these organizations function. Because once you understand how they function, now you know what levers to pull, meaning the salesperson works on a quarterly quota. Why are we negotiating at the beginning of the quarter? Why not wait till the end of the quarter whenever all the pressure is building and they've got to report numbers to Wall Street? If they don't hit it, they're screwed. So they're willing to give you deals that they wouldn't. So knowing when to negotiate is also a tool, right? You wouldn't go purchase a car at the beginning of the month because the salesperson works on a monthly quota. So you start negotiating on the 15th, and then you look to sign by the end of the month when all of the pressure's on the salespeople, and that pressure goes all the way to the top in every department. Everyone feels it. And if they're not having a great month, well, you're going to get the best deal possible because everyone is working towards hitting a certain goal or a target within the sales.
Or even the end of the financial year.
Even like better.
Yeah.
Like if you know the sales cycle or the they either work on a monthly or a quarterly quota. So if you're working with a sales guy, I always ask, hey, are you guys on quarterly? Yeah, we're on quarterly. Are you on a fiscal year or are you on a calendar year? We're on a fiscal. Or we're on a calendar year. Now I know end of year, we're going to get the best deal, right? Because end of year is December 31st, not February or not January 31st. So understanding that, now I know where and how to, where my leverage is going to be and when the best time to negotiate. So these are all questions that you can ask that give you insight into what matters on the other side. And then that's how you would structure your negotiation. I have I know what I want. I know what you want. And now I'm going to pull those levers to get what I want and use what you want as leverage to get me what I want. Sorry, that was a lot of I want.
No, it was brilliant. And I love the fact that you actually straight out asked them how they work with their sales, because most people are very willing to talk about themselves and very willing to talk about the business that they're in.
They have no idea why you're asking the question.
Yeah, well, they would look at you. And I know you, like I've seen you talk. I could just see you just walking in and being like, almost like the silent type. And they would just think, oh, he's interested in the business, or he's done this before. Like they wouldn't have this thing of like, oh, he has this undercurrent, thing, finding out what matters. But that's brilliant. I love that, negotiating and finding out what matters to them. Yeah.